Oh, yeah, okay.
So, hey,
Yeah,
this if you happen to be tuning in, welcome to Stormfront Freaks Raw. This is the recording of our audio podcast. Special tonight. This is episode 117. We're looking forward to having Brad Panovich, chief meteorologist down in Charlotte. He's going to be joining us tonight. But what's also special tonight is this is the first night that we are going exclusive to our Patreon members. So I want to thank those of you that have already supported us and supported Stormfront Freaks. This is one of the things we wanted to do and trying to find ways to actually get closer and do cool stuff with the people that like to hang out with us. One of the ways was to take this extra recording, which has always just kind of been something extra we did, but make that available exclusively to the people that really wanted to be a part of us and support us. And we've got Dan Wallace on again with us tonight, and Dan's one of our hurricane level VIP supporters, which actually we bring him on the show and he gets to hang out in the green room and gets big widescreen of himself on the show. But so thanks, Dan. I want to shout out a little thank you there as well. But so we're looking forward to being on the show. And again, part of the deal is for 2 weeks after the recording, this is exclusive to our Patreon members before we make it available to the public. So if you'd like to hang out with us live and chat with us live, or even like Dan, be on the show with us live, go to patreon.com/stormfrontfreaks and find a level of support that works for you and allows us to do some cool stuff together. So thanks.
$1 million.
$1 million.
I like your new decor you got, Maz. That looks
Maz, yeah, where's
really
your background?
nice.
Oh man. Oh, I totally
You should get a jail cell.
You
That would
cheat.
be
Yeah,
cool.
dude, you totally cheated.
Phil,
The
that
jail
picture,
cell doesn't work because you can't get it in front of you, can you?
not screen.
Phil,
sharing,
that
it's
True.
tornado picture right behind you on the wall.
On the wall?
Yeah, that one there in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? What is that?
This was from the tornado trackers, and it's actually they took photos that they had,
Yeah.
and whatever they did to them to make it look like a print, or or look like art or whatever it is. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way.
Okay. I see it now. Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, it's from those guys. You can get it at
Maz, we got the same
Tornado
house.
Tracker.
I know.
Oh, oh man. Get out of my house, man.
That's pretty funny.
Okay.
No, that's fine.
Dan's
All
got
right,
like
I'll
a
go to something.
cigar
We're back in our-
smoking room or something.
We got
What's
the-
I'm
that?
going to the
That's
comedy
cool.
club. Comedy club. Hey, librarians.
There you go.
I wanted to bring a air quote house too, like Maz.
Damn, that's
Oh,
sweet, man.
wow.
That's
You're
cool.
rich.
That's
Very
a
cool.
step up.
That actually fits with the whole hurricane level supporter over there.
That's true.
Yeah, remind me how to change that background, Maz.
Dan is from the wealthy Philadelphia Wallaces, so
You have to have a green screen, Dina.
It's new old money.
Yeah, you kind of have to have a.
Really? I can do it
Yeah.
at work on our Google ones.
You can try it. Go down to the cam mic gear icon at the bottom, and then go to video.
I see.
I think, or is it under? No, green
I
screen.
see.
It's under-
Green screen.
It's under green screen, yeah.
Let's see. I have some things on my desktop.
It's a little more sensitive than Zoom and some of the other ones I've tried.
But you do have to have an actual. I think we'll find out. I think you actually have to have a green screen. Otherwise, I spent money on one. Didn't need to.
I think Dan wins though. That's pretty sweet.
That is.
Yeah.
MJ, when you had your house that was exactly like Maz's, you don't have a green screen up, and yours
I
was
do.
working fine.
No, I do have a green
Oh.
screen.
Oh, well, what's that in behind
Now.
you? That's not the room you're in?
No,
Now.
that's in our house, but it's not where I am. now.
Oh, that is so cool. I actually it looks pretty damn good then.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially that
Well, it's
weird,
cleaner
especially that
than
weird
normal.
kid in the picture. That
Yeah.
looks like totally legit. Totally legit.
How much did you have to pay for that background? Yeah, that's
A lot because it moves.
live background with somebody's kid. That's creepy, actually.
That's Armageddon level Patreon support.
That's right. It is.
That's a bummer that you need the green screen because I did a couple on our work ones, and I have like a cockpit one and flying through this. Oh, it's kind of cool.
Well, Dina, then tell you what, help us go get some more Patreon supporters, and we'll be able to afford better equipment and
Send me
everybody.
green screen.
Right.
Gosh,
Greg,
yeah.
were you here last time?
No.
So this is my son, Jacob, and he is doing. He's researching us or studying us. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's Jacob from State Farm.
That's right.
Hi, Brad.
Hey guys,
nice
how's
to
it
meet you,
going?
Jacob.
Nice to meet you too.
Brad's on.
All right, Brad, welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, you're even in studio right now.
Yeah, I'm actually watching some storms heading towards this Panthers game here in Charlotte.
It's a green screen. He's not really working. Very nice.
Good one.
Like a pro.
We just had a green screen discussion that you missed out
Yeah,
on.
we did.
Oh, geez.
It was
So, Phil, have
scintillating.
you ever had a guest who has to leave the podcast because he actually has to do some live breaking news video?
That I think I don't know that it was live breaking news, but they had to do a hit. They had to do, just do
Yeah,
a quick spot
Aubrey,
or something like
Aubrey, I
that.
think, did that, didn't she?
She might have.
had to.
Yeah. So, but I think we had one person. It's like, okay,
somebody
we'll
did,
wait
yeah.
because it didn't matter. We edited it out and all that stuff.
I
so.
was getting nervous because this line had rotation in it, and I'm like, I'm going to be doing a tornado warning during this.
No kidding,
Ooh, wow.
dude. Well, we'll take that. Just
We'll
move
take
the
that.
camera so that we can see you while you're doing it. Add
We'll
a
go
little
live with you.
excitement to this otherwise maybe non-exciting show. But all right,
I
so
don't know. Brad just got here, man.
So
Terrible. Can we put Brad in the
Wow,
center
you're setting the
square?
bar real high here.
I'm
Yeah.
always self-deprecating. That's nothing new. So, Brad, just quick introductions. Greg Johnson, one of our co-hosts. Dina Knightley, so she's an Ohio State grad.
Fuck
All
guys.
right. Go Bucks.
Mark
When did-
Massaro, we
wait,
call
when
Maz.
did you graduate? I got to know.
97, spring of 97.
Huh?
Okay, I graduated in
Nice.
'96, so I know we've crossed paths.
Yeah.
Wow, is that a that big of a program that you guys didn't?
Yeah.
It's not that big of a program,
mean,
is it?
At that time,
No.
it wasn't that big, but yeah, if you're not in the right order of classes, you miss out.
Yeah.
You're kind of in the same group because you got to take all the physics and stuff together. You know?
Brad wasn't as sexy looking as he is now. That's
Yeah.
probably why.
He had to
Right?
hang with the cool
I had
crowd.
hair, so I probably looked really different.
Dan Wallace is one of our Patreon supporters. Gets to hang out with us in the green room and come in for breaks. He's down in Texas. MJ Mark Johnson's up in Minnesota. And then Brady Harris, who just got on, he's also an Ohio State grad.
All right.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Brad.
The
Lots of
Ohio
Buckeyes.
State.
We took a picture back at the Ohio State Severe Weather Symposium a while ago, so still have that
Oh
on my
man, yeah, we came back.
I know. Yeah, it was a fun year. That was a loaded lineup that year. So
Yeah, that was the 10th anniversary of it, I think it was. maybe?
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. It was
Yeah,
fun.
That was
Jeff Silver and I
2016.
started that. I remember that.
Yeah, hey, that was 2016, and that was because I was there too.
Yeah.
And
Jeff
that was
Silver and I, that was something we wanted to start because we had gone to the Des Moines Severe Weather and Radar Conference. That was a great conference, by the way. Les Lemon used to do his his workshop on Doppler radar, and it was just amazing. So we wanted to start something in Ohio, and we came up with that. Dr. Hobgood's like, go ahead, run with it, and it's amazing that's still going on.
Okay, raise your hand if you had Dr. Hobgood as your instructor. He's everywhere.
He's the best instructor. He's the best
Greg,
instructor ever.
you did not, did
Yeah.
By the way, Dina, look, this is for you.
Ah, yes.
Is
I think
that
my
the-
son has the same sweatshirt.
Is that the sweater? Happy Halloween to everyone.
It's a
Nice.
sweatshirt with his is a hoodie.
Yeah, yeah.
you? Brady, are you wearing a romper?
I was
No,
wondering what
it's
you were wearing.
it's literally just a black. No, it's a tank top. It's not a
At
Okay,
first
all
I
right,
thought you were
Robert.
wearing overalls or something.
No,
It's
no.
a Wednesday.
Guys, it's Halloween. Why is no one else dressed up? Like, come on.
Actually,
Brad,
last year,
I am, man.
so after
80s,
I was
80s.
on Halloween.
Brought my
Matt
mask.
Mass
Put
is
it
like
on. There we
business
go.
Taz over here. Like,
80s hip hop. I'm an 80s hip hop artist, break dancer.
There you go.
Okay, all right. Let's. So here's what we'll do. Do our typical opening. And then Maz, are you good for doing Brad's intro?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And we'll get started on some questions. And then I'd say, I don't know, 20 minutes after or somewhere around there, we'll take a break. Let Brad go do his tornado warning spot, and we'll come back when they're all clear. All right, so coming in, here we go.
See you, Dan.
And coming in 3, 2. Hey, welcome everybody to the most entertaining weather podcast on your listening and viewing device. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast. Special thanks to our patrons at patreon.com/stormfrontfreaks for supporting the show, like Joey, Timothy, Dan. Thanks for supporting us. And before we go ahead and get to Brad tonight, it's always happy hour. And when we record, it's a great way to introduce you to the co-hosts that happen to show up tonight. We actually had some show up tonight, which is good. But it also lets you know we like to have fun and laid back and kind of having a good time. But I'm going to find out what everyone's drinking tonight. Greg, I'm going to start with you up in Canada.
Well, you know what? It's a little bit of a departure for me today. I'm doing in my best boss ever mug, coffee with Baileys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Keeping warm.
Very good.
There you go.
Did someone give that to you, or did you buy it yourself?
Yeah, I stole it, actually.
He stole from his
Even
boss.
better.
All right, Dina, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm just drinking a Michelob, hanging out, not very fancy.
So it cooled off once the power turned back on at your house.
Yeah, no, I'm almost halfway done with it.
That's good. That's good. All right, MJ, what are you drinking tonight?
All right, we're back to the Greenbelt Northeast. It's a wonderful brew.
Wow,
Wait, what is that? That was like a great. What kind of beer is that?
It's an amber lager.
Okay, I was gonna say. Okay.
What's Jacob drinking?
Yeah, what's Jacob drinking back there? I saw him.
He didn't bring anything, he said.
Oh, dude.
Oh, come on.
He's waiting for you to
Brady's
take a
not
break.
going to do the interview afterwards.
Yeah.
He's calling it off. And Maz, what are you drinking, buddy?
I was going to have the Mick Ultra, but I've noticed I've started putting a few pounds on. So I'm just going to go with the water in my Nebraska Cornhusker Cup, of which we're not playing because Wisconsin's like, we can't play this weekend.
Aww.
Like for crying
Too
out
many
loud.
sickos. All right, Brady, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I've got a half marathon on Saturday, so I'm going light today. I'm going Truly. Just discovered the lemonade, and apparently it's pretty good. So 100 calories.
Show me that it's open.
Apparently
Let me see the top.
Oh, it's
a half
open.
marathon.
Oh, it
it's
is.
open.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
checking.
Okay.
I drove to a marathon. Good gas.
All right, Maz, let's go ahead and bring Brad in.
Awesome. Hey, we're excited to have Brad Panovich on tonight. 2003, Brad became the chief meteorologist at WCNC-TV in Charlotte, North Carolina. Prior to that, Brad spent time on TV in Dayton, just a stone's throw. In fact, I think we did throw some stones back then to Dayton. But Traverse City and New Orleans, where he went back to cover Hurricane Katrina and Rita. Brad received his degree in atmospheric science from the Ohio State University.
Woo!
Right on.
What I want to know, Brad,
Yeah.
what are you drinking tonight?
What am I drinking? I'm actually drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper from Chick-fil-A, which is my typical severe weather go-to place because it's close to the station and I'm in and out quick with the mobile ordering. So yeah, we were tracking severe weather today with Zeta coming through here, and then we had some strong storms tonight. So I've been babysitting the radar for a while. Here.
Is that like, do people know when you come in with that that food and beverage, you're like, oh crud, there's going to be a severe storm?
It's funny. I have a 9 and a 10-year-old, and when I don't come home for dinner, because I'm not that far from the station, I usually can get home in like 10, 15 minutes. So when I don't come home, they usually ask me the next day, Dad, was there a tornado? Because they know if there was bad weather, Dad doesn't come home for dinner.
Right.
Wow.
They're like, Dad, where's our Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, that's why I FaceTime with them tonight. My daughter's like, no fair, you went to Chick-fil-A.
And that's when you go, and I enjoyed every bite of it.
It was good. Cobb salad. That's what I tried to eat healthy.
So Brad, do you get those calls from friends and family and the texts like, what should we know? What should we know whenever they hear the
Tell us
tornado
the
warnings?
real story.
Yeah, I laugh, and this happens even with my Facebook followers and Instagram. They will DM me or PM me as if like there's some secret forecast that I'm withholding until somebody private messages me. And I'm like, hey, I put everything out there. There's no secret forecast. And I have a bunch of people that say, hey, is there a tornado chance? And it's like, don't you think I would mention that in my forecast if there was a chance of a tornado? I almost feel offended, like I'm holding back information. So,
Halloween, you got to
He's
do
holding
that
it for
to
his
people
Patreon members.
on
holding it
Halloween.
for his Patreon members.
Mess with
Yeah,
people on Halloween.
It just happens. I mean, it's weird. But my wife is like that. She'll say, all right, what's the real story? I think she kind of knows how the TV business works a little bit and how news will try to hype up things a little bit. And I'm complete opposite of that. I'm usually the one kind of downplaying things because I want people to take the serious stuff serious. She'll ask me, is this a big deal? Should I worry about it? And she gets nervous when I tell her this is a real deal. Like, go clean the closet out, get the helmets ready. She knows there's going to be tornadoes.
That's awesome.
So you got rotation tonight there?
Is there rotation?
You got some rotation going on radar there, Brad?
Yeah, so we had Zeta's remnants come through this morning, and we had only for the second time since they've issued these inland tropical storm warnings, we were under a tropical storm warning here in Charlotte. The last time was 2018 when Michael came through the Florida Panhandle, then it came up here into the Carolinas. Because it was a Cat 5, those winds carried well inland. So we had just tropical storm winds there. That was all straight line. But tonight, the cold front and the trough are swinging through. And we had this little line of storms develop, and they were low top supercells, which are only storms that are about 15 to 20,000 foot tall. No lightning in them, but they were all showing signs of rotation. So I was getting nervous because we've got a Thursday night football game going on right now. The Panthers and the Falcons are playing in Uptown. So while there's not a ton of people at the game, there's about 6,000 people at the game and a lot of people tailgating outside that can socially distance. So I was getting a little nervous here earlier that I might be doing a tornado warning during this.
You got big staff, a lot of staff with you there tonight working?
Not that much. We've got a couple people in the newsroom. I'm kind of all by myself here in the studio. We're like, I always tell the weather people, we've been social distancing for 20 years because we're so far away from everybody. They're all in the newsroom, which I kind of like because I don't like to be in there when all the yelling and screaming's going on. But we got 2 producers in there and 2 of our anchors and our directors. So I kind of went in there and gave them the heads up, like, hey, we might have to cut in. So they're just on standby.
Give me more time. Give me more time.
Yeah,
sounds like there's some family problems there in the newsroom. What's why all the yelling and
screaming? To be a producer or anything, you have to yell. That's just the thing.
It's crazy because I think because the assignment desk, if you've been in the newsroom, assignment desk is where all the scanners are blaring and you're listening to the police scanner and the fire scanner. So if something happens, those guys have the scanners going in their ear. I don't think they know how loud they're yelling when they say, hey, we got a call or there's a fire so-and-so. So they'll yell it across the newsroom. I mean, we have all this technology and we still yell in the newsroom to tell people what's going on, but that's kind of the way it works in the newsroom.
It's the old guys.
What? They got to yell and they got to swear. I don't know anybody else who doesn't. Yeah.
For being on TV, a lot of F-bombs get dropped off camera in that newsroom. It's crazy. Yeah.
We have a lot of F-bombs get dropped here right on the live show. So
Brad, have you ever messed up on air? Have you ever dropped the language that you shouldn't have?
Honestly, the worst thing I've ever said was crappy. And I was referring to the weather in the Northeast, and I think because it was crappy weather, people were like, they thought it was great. They thought it was funny, but I did get a little.
Just said wicked crappy.
Yeah, and it was like a snowstorm or something in the Northeast, and I was just referring to the weather being pretty crappy up there. I think I wanted to say crummy, and it came out crappy. And nowadays, I think this was back in my New Orleans days, and I had a little talking to from my assistant news director, like, yeah, let's maybe not use that exact word.
Wow. Comes across better if you just say fucking crappy. Makes more sense. But hey, I'm going to go back in the Wayback Machine here a little bit. We were talking earlier, Brad, about 2016. Brady was at Ohio State at the time, and they were doing their severe weather symposium.
Yeah.
You mentioned it was like their 10th anniversary. I was actually there as well, and Bettis was back, and of course Dr. Hobgood presented. Yeah. But I remember you talked something about forecasting and precipitation forecast accuracy, and how to do better with our perception to the general public, so they better understand that it's not, man, they get paid to be a weatherman to be wrong, however. So I refresh my memory and tell us a little bit, what was your goal with that presentation, if you remember that?
Well, yeah.
And is there a way to change perception? Can you really do it?
Well, I think that's the coolest thing about being on TV. I mean, a little bit about my background, my degree's in atmospheric science. I never in a million years wanted to be on TV. I'm one of those people, when I grew up, I saw the people on TV. I had some of my favorites, but I always thought the TV weather guy wasn't like a real meteorologist. And so I didn't want to do that. I love the science of meteorology. And that's why my degree was atmospheric science. I never took journalism or communication or anything like that. I figured I'd be working for the Weather Service or going back and going to grad school or something. But at the time, there was a hiring freeze in NOAA. So I couldn't get a job right away out of school, the Weather Service. So my buddy talked me into an internship at a TV station. So I got into this whole world of the TV business. And one of the things I find fascinating about being on this side of operational forecasting is that the communication of the information is as important as the forecast itself. You can have the best possible forecast, nail it, but if nobody understands it or nobody receives that forecast, to me, that's the busted forecast still. It doesn't matter if we can all sit and pat ourselves on the back and go, good job, meteorologist A, B, and C, we nailed it. The public didn't get it. You're kind of failing at your job. So I think where that stems from is a lot of people don't really understand how the science of meteorology works. And so my goal in that talk was to talk about, hey, we forecast the future, which I think sometimes people forget. We're literally predicting something that hasn't happened. And if you look at any stats, and I have a bunch of stats for myself and even the Weather Service, within the 24, 48-hour period, we're right over 90% of the time. I mean, think about that. We're literally predicting something that hasn't happened with 90% accuracy. And I was trying to equate it to other fields like baseball. An all-star baseball player is, only hits the ball 3 out of 10 times. And they're considered awesome. Malpractice for doctors, I think the misdiagnosis rate for like cancers is like in the 60% range. Stockbrokers are wrong like 80% of the time. So all these fields that people have respect for are wrong more often than us. And most of their professions don't include the fact that they're predicting something that hasn't happened. So I really wanted to kind of, nip that in the bud and try to get people to understand like, hey, we're pretty accurate. But I also would put some of the blame back on ourselves, is that the reason people think we're not accurate is we're probably not very good communicators of the forecast. And I'll just give you one example. The probability of precipitation, what we call POPs, or the chance of rain. I don't know a single person who fully understands that in the public, and yet we use it pretty much across the board in every single forecast we give.
And Brad, with weather too, you've got so many pieces to that puzzle. Not only are you predicting precipitation, what kind of precipitation, at what time is this, how much is going to fall, and where it's going to fall. So we've got, it's not just a stock that's going to rise or fall. It's a lot more of it than just that.
And there's times, when we're right, we're wrong. Like I always tell people, if I predict rain on the weekend and it rains, but that's when people want to be outside, they think you got it wrong because it rained on their outdoor activity. So even when you're right, they think you're wrong because you got a negative outcome to something they wanted to do. And the other thing we face is like, I don't know about other fields. I think we might be one of the few fields. It doesn't matter what meteorologist says it applies to all of us. Like, right? You ever heard like, they say it's going to rain this week? And I always say, who's they? Is that me? Is it an app? But it's like we all get lumped together. So if they hear the Weather Channel or their favorite app or a radio station or some other meteorologist, I pretty much have to assume that all those forecasts are my forecast as well, because I'll get blamed for forecasts I didn't even make.
Wow.
You're in the line of fire, though. That's who they want to yell at.
Yeah, but I love it. And I think that's the cool thing about working in broadcast meteorology is the interaction with the public. It can be infuriating and frustrating at times, but it's also very rewarding. If there's, social media sometimes can be this thing where oh my gosh, everyone hates each other. They yell at us. But to me, I look for the positive. If there's one person that says, oh my gosh, I understand the dew point now because of Brad, or I understand what a derecho is because I watched Brad or listened to Brad. To me, that's where I love it. I love like teaching somebody something about meteorology and they walk away with a better understanding of our atmosphere. That's the cool thing about doing broadcast meteorology that I don't think I would necessarily have in another operational field of meteorology.
Brad, I got a quick question. So, and I've seen a lot on Twitter about some working from home. Like, I'm just super interested. Like, what is COVID-19? What the heck has that done to broadcast meteorology? And like, what's your situation? Are you in the studio? Do you have a studio at home? Like, what's going on there?
That is such a good question, because I'll tell you, it's been crazy. Now, anyone who follows me on social media knows I'm very active, and I pretty much had the work from home setup going on for years, because I kind of built my own little studio at home to do YouTube and Facebook and Twitter updates. And I would do it any time of day. So actually, when COVID hit and the station started thinking about Maine, we have to send some of our anchors home. Brad, can you test your shot out? I tested it out day one and it worked fine, because I had fiber at my house. I had lighting, I had mics, I had everything. I was ready to roll. So I was the first one sent home, and I stayed home for 2 months. And then I came back to the station, and I've been back at the station since May. But my weekend meteorologist just came back in the last 2 weeks. And some of our anchors, only 2 of our anchors are here right now. Everybody else is working from home. All the reporters and photographers, none of them are allowed in the building, period. Our whole sales staff is not in the building. Most of our managers aren't in the building. It's like a ghost town in here. Right now, this is the most that we've had in the building. I think it's like 9 at one time. So it's really weird, but it's been good and bad for our industry, I think, because we've learned how to do things that we probably should have been doing years ago, with being able to use technology to our advantage. The cool thing now is, because everybody has Zoom, Skype, Microsoft Teams, some form of telecommunications, you can get interviews with anybody now like that, because you can just say, hey, I'm going to give you a Skype link, or I'm going to send you an email, and we will bring them on the air. So we're able to interview more people. And now that my boss knows I can go live from anywhere with my phone, I can basically pop my phone up and broadcast from anywhere now. In fact, one weekend we had an earthquake down here in North Carolina back in August, a 5.1, which is pretty big for our area. It happened on a Sunday morning. I was off. I was on the air within 5 minutes from my office as soon as I got out of bed, because of what we're able to do now. It's pretty amazing.
Wow.
If you're working from home, you don't need a clothing allowance or pants.
I was just saying, yeah.
Nice
I want to wake up and wear my pajamas. You can't.
Yeah, well, like you said, from the top down, you got to kind of be there. But the cool thing about working from home that I loved, it was not always good, because I'll tell people, and people that work from home can attest to this. You feel like you're always at work, right? Because you're always at home. You can't get away from it. And especially early on in COVID, when you literally were locked down and nothing was open, you couldn't go anywhere. You were stuck at home for 12 hours and pretty much you were on call the entire time. So it wasn't the greatest thing in the world at first, because as much as I love my job, it's like you never left it. You're just living it 24/7. But I did like being home immediately after the late news. I'm not having to drive home. I could literally be done with the news and just go to my bedroom, or go grab a beer and watch TV for a little bit. I didn't have to worry about driving home. That was cool.
When you're working from home, how do you get the next rat on the roof?
The biggest challenge has been using VPNs and kind of remoting into our graphics system. Luckily, I've been doing.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not complicated.
I'm using one right now.
This is mainstream. This is not complicated, guys. Come on.
Yeah, the virtual personal networks. People basically, it's security to log into. So we use a thing called Splashtop, and I've been using it for years on my phone to do live shots from like golf tournaments or like festivals or whatever. And so that's why I said we were pretty much ready to go, and I could log in and do my graphics and switch them in real time from my phone. And we were just doing that at home. It does help to have multiple monitors set up, and being a former reformed gamer, I actually had a pretty good gaming rig set up with 3 monitors at home. So I could have all my graphics up, the feed from the station, my camera, my lights, and I could do everything at once. So it's been pretty cool to do that from home. And that's why I said the cool thing about the COVID, and if there is anything good about it, is we've learned a lot of cool technological advances that we can use now to make our jobs easier when things get back to normal.
What was your game? Are you a Dungeons and Dragons guy?
No, Battlefield, man.
Battlefield is great.
The whole Battlefield series, back to the 1942 and the Desert Combat mod, and then all the way to Battlefield 2. I love Battlefield. That was our jam here at work.
Brad, you're gonna have to get into. There's a storm chasing game coming out, right, Phil?
We were supposed to play that one day on Steam. We were gonna play it and we were gonna stream it just for our viewers to see me and the weekend guy playing. In COVID hit, and we never got to it, but I would love to play that game.
Yeah, we had those guys on the podcast. They were a lot of fun. It seemed like what they were doing was pretty cool. So
they're coming back in December because it's supposed to be their version is supposed to be released. I know, Brad, you might be mentioning there was something that came out probably a year ago or so.
Yeah.
That I was kind of aware of, but this one they've been working on for a while, and yeah, it sounds pretty cool. But hey, it's time for a break. We'll be right back, and we'll have more from Brad and our lightning round. So stay tuned. Cool. So I don't know Battlefield. I haven't heard I've played Dungeons and Dragons. I know that, but I don't know Battlefield.
Oh my god,
It was Star Wars.
Oh my god, dude.
I played Asteroids.
Yeah,
I had Asteroids.
No, it's not Star Wars Battlefield.
Played Tank. That was fun.
it was like before Call of Duty. That was
Hey, I asked Brad a question. Let him talk.
yeah, before Call of Duty, Battlefield was the real game. That was.
Okay.
You know.
I see. Okay, you're new school.
Oh yeah,
You're total new school, buddy.
I haven't played many games in a while, but I love that game. And all the sports games. Gosh, NCAA football was like the jam when that was available. And it was so funny. My son, we bought him an Xbox 360 a couple of Christmases ago used, and it came with this big bag of DVD and games. And in there was the original NCAA football.
Oh, really?
With
Nice.
Tim Tebow on the cover.
No way.
And I'm like, this is so cool. So we played that. My son loved it too. I said,
I was a Mattel Electronics football kind of guy.
Yeah. The little red dots.
Yep. LED
Phil, I
calculator.
bet you the last video game you played was at the brewery in Oklahoma. I bet that was the last game you played.
No. I'll be honest with you. One of my favorite games is Vice City, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I still like playing that.
Oh my god!
I still go back and pretend I'm Don Johnson.
You remember Doom? You ever played Doom? The first shooter?
Doom? I've played it once. Yeah, it was a while ago.
There was a guy at work here who had built a whole one of the mods, one of the maps was our station. He had recreated the whole station.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And so you could go into the studio and blow up people, and shit was so cool.
Is he going by the boss's office?
Yeah,
That's a little
That actually sounds like maybe the FBI might be monitoring your activities over there.
He does not work there anymore. I don't know what he's doing.
We had to let him go.
Funny, the news director's the first one to go.
Oh man. Hey Dan, you got any questions for Brad?
I think Daniel
mute
mute.
yourself.
Dan, you're muted.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That happens. How many hurricanes have you tracked
Oh man.
in your history?
Okay, so you guys mentioned about me going back to New Orleans for Katrina. That was the year I was done with hurricanes. So I was in Charlotte for 2 years after I left my station in New Orleans. Now we're owned by the same company. That's why I actually went back. I was going to help them out, and they were short-staffed. So I actually rode out Katrina in the Hyatt Regency Superdome, and I stayed there for 2 weeks. I came back for a week.
2 weeks?
Yeah, because they were short-staffed. So I was on loan to them, and 12-hour shifts. It was crazy. It was a defining experience of my meteorological career, because it was just one of those events. You know, I don't ever want to cover anything like that again. But that season, I covered Rita 2 weeks after that. I stayed there another 2 weeks, and then the station thought, hey, Brad, you're like Jim Cantore. We're going to send you to Fort Myers, and you're going to cover Hurricane Wilma for us in NBC News. And so they flew me to Fort Myers, and I covered Wilma. So in the span of like 3 months, I covered 3 of the strongest hurricanes to ever hit the U.S.
Oh my
and
God.
I was just done with hurricanes after that. So my time in New Orleans, I covered probably 12 tropical systems. And then since I've been in the Carolinas, I've covered probably about 25 more.
Oh my God.
The difference here is our systems in the Carolinas, it's all flooding, freshwater flooding.
Yeah.
Matthew, Florence, Joaquin. Down there, it was storm surge. Obviously, living below sea level is like everything. When I work in New Orleans, is the joke I tell everybody. There's only 2 seasons: summer and hurricane season. Those are the only 2 seasons in New Orleans, and that's kind of one of the reasons I left, because I missed 4-season climate and forecasting all 4 seasons.
So, Brad, do you have that like classic shot of the weather guy holding the mic, leaning into the wind, and you're just getting pummeled by water and debris?
Well, the funny thing is, Wilma was the one where back then we weren't doing live shots because it was hard to get the dish to line up in the wind. because it would move out of alignment. So we would tape these quick little look lives and we would feed them back, right? And we were feeding one back. I was out doing one of those things, Craig. And when we go back to the truck, we're slowing down the video. I'm like, hey, slow it down. My photographer's doing the video. And I said, slow it down. A 2x4 was flying by my head and had missed me by like 5 feet. And I said, you know what? That's it. We're done doing those live shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that to this day, that Wilma is the strongest winds I've ever experienced firsthand.
What was that? A 4 or what was
it? Was a 5 at one point, but when it came ashore, it was like a 4. And the funny thing is, it hit about this time in October, because I remember the day after it hit, it was so cold in southern Florida. This cold front came blasting through this big trough, and it was like in the 50s down there. And it was nice because everyone didn't have power. They were taking all their clothes and drying it out outside and cooking outside. It was just so weird. Be in Florida for a hurricane, and a day later it was like frigid. It was cold.
Wow.
I think 2000, since we're kind of on the same timeline, 2005 seems like that was my defining year of really getting thrown into the thick of it.
Yeah, that was it was funny because my old station wanted to hire me back. They offered me a job almost point blank down there, and I said, you know what? I love Charlotte, and I came back, and the station here promoted me right away when I got back, because I think it was like, yeah, we're going to hold on to you. And so, yeah, it was a big year career-wise, but honestly, Katrina was that first storm. As a weather geek, you love weather. That was the first storm where I was like, you know what? I don't think I like these storms so much because of what I saw and what it did to people I knew. That was the first storm where I saw people that I cared about lose everything. And I was like, you know what? These hurricanes aren't all that fun anymore.
You know, this was a great segment. Too bad it wasn't live with us.
2005 was great for me too. I just had a lot of homework
We'll still edit it in. We can edit that in.
Can everybody do it again?
That was the year of the homework for me. Had a teacher that loved homework.
Brady, we don't care. We're not listening to you anymore right now. So we'll come back in. We'll keep with questions with Brad, and then we'll go to the lightning round, maybe about 9:40. And then go to our second break. Okay. Everybody good?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Coming back. 3, 2. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're with Charlotte's WCNC-TV's Brad Panovich. Brad, I've got a question for you that's not entirely related to weather. But so you're a regional meteorologist, and you've really got a strong social media following, which I think is sometimes hard when you're regional. Yeah. So my question is really, how do you think you're able to accomplish that? What do you feel you're doing that maybe gives you a stronger presence when you're regional like that?
That's a great question. And people and all these social media people in my company ask me all the time, like, how did you get this many followers, Brad? Or how does, and I honestly say, I don't honestly know, but I do have some ideas. I think the thing that drove me to social media, and you guys might remember this, back in the day, you remember all the discussion weather forums, and there's still a lot out there, like American weather forums and Eastern US. Those were like the places you could geek out as a weather guy, right? That was like you go talk shop. And so when social media became a big deal in like 2008, 2009, Twitter started coming onto the stage. I signed up on Twitter and I started talking about like kind of the nuts and bolts of a winter storm. And people started gravitating to me like, oh my gosh, here's a guy who's actually talking about like, why are we going to get snow or not get snow? And it just was like an outlet for me at first to kind of geek out because, on TV, you only have like two or 3 minutes to talk about the weather. It's not enough sometimes. So social media was an outlet for me to talk about other things. And what happened was just people started, word of mouth, like, hey, here's a weather guy who'll answer your questions about, why is it raining here and not here? And so it just kind of took off. And the other thing is I was always passionate about weather. So I would be on social media posting stuff when I'm not at work. I think that was like the big thing at first. People are like, oh my gosh, it's the middle of the night, Brad's posting. It's early in the morning, Brad's posting. It's the weekend. It's like, I was just always posting about weather. So I kind of knew what I was as a weather geek, and I was going to kind of play that role. And it just kind of was successful. And I think that's the one thing I would tell people. The way it works out is if it's something you love and you talk about it and you stick to that, I think people will gravitate towards you.
Plus, when your producer only gives you like 2 minutes to do weather, like, I need more time. I'm going to do it on social media.
Well, and we work. The thing is, in my business, I'm on the air at like 4, 5, 6 p.m. and then 11 p.m. Well, the weather doesn't happen on that schedule, right? It happens whenever it wants. So that's a way for me to post about weather information happening on people's time. And so I think it's really kind of taken off, especially the way people live their lives nowadays with a smartphone in their hand. And that's where they get a lot of their weather information. And you kind of have to come with grips. Like, some people aren't going to watch you every day on TV. That's just not the way people operate. If they can watch you 1 or 2 times a week, that's like a major success. But if you're their source for weather information on social media, when something does hit the fan, they're hopefully going to click to us and be watching us. So that's kind of the way I look at it, as a way to kind of market yourself and, as the weather source in your community. And then they can flip the TV on. The good news is we are making more money on digital now than we ever have. So, in the future, it probably will be more geared towards that and less on the broadcast side.
Are they cutting back on robotic cameras? I'm looking over your left shoulder and I'm like, that's not a robotic camera.
It actually is, but it doesn't move. The tripod is stationary.
Okay.
The head moves. So what they've done is they have lockdown positions, and the camera pans and tilts and zooms in and zooms out to get the shot. So it's just so, because laying tracks and moving around just causes more issues. So they have them kind of more locked down. But before COVID, there wasn't anyone in the studio directing. Everything was automated already. You had to listen and through your earpiece to know what camera to look at. So yeah, it's come a long way. But,
hey, Brad, back to the social media thing. Have you ever, and listen, Phil, I hope I'm not giving anything away right here, but have you ever lost it on anybody? Have you ever had that troll that just you're just and you'll lose it, or you're just not that guy?
Tell them to shut their pie hole.
Yeah.
Probably early on, there might've been a couple times, but now I'm kind of savvy about how these trolls work. The point is, they want you to react to them. But there's one thing I do. I will not let people cross the line when personal attacks. When you work in meteorology, you're used to people saying, "You suck, you can't forecast the weather, where's the rain?" That's just par for the course. But when people personally attack you, or your family, or think you should be fired or laid off, that to me is a little odd. And the other thing is when people attack other people that follow me. You see a lot of that. People will start being derogatory towards some of the people that are commenting on a post or tweeting at you. So I try to hold my tongue, and I'm one of those people where I'm better off just muting people or deleting them or blocking them and just moving on. But it is difficult at times, especially in the political climate we live in. It seems like you can't post a picture of a cat or a dog and somebody will go off on some political rant, and you're like, what the heck does that have to even do with?
That dog was wearing a blue collar. No, it was a red collar.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Brad.
It's crazy. It's I can't even post the high temperature anymore without getting into some debate on climate change. It's
oh, geez.
I was just posting the high temperature for today, and so.
Well, hey, Brad, I did notice that you posted your car getting broken into, and that was televised on the show and everything else. What's that about?
My car got broken into, and I have a lot of cameras in my house, not so much for security, just because I like having cameras to see weather and stuff when I'm not at home. And I caught a guy breaking into my wife's car, and so I reported it, and the station's like, "Hey, can we use that video?" Because it was pretty clear video, and the guys, it's a typical thing. They break in their car looking for GPS or phones or something they can flip really quick. But that actually made it on TV. So every once in a while,
did they catch them?
I don't know if they caught them, but it was kind of eerie because the guys had masks on because he looked right at the camera and knew it was on, and he knew he had a mask on and he had his hood up so nobody could identify him. So I'm like, these guys and they were very sneaky, man. They wouldn't slam the door. They pushed it real gently so it wouldn't set the alarm off. So they were professionals. They knew what they were doing.
Brad, how many cameras do you have in your house?
Oh, inside or
which rooms?
They're all outside.
Okay, all right.
Well, you are a self-proclaimed tech geeky, right? You're a geek out on the tech stuff. What's the latest cool tech thing you've got or you're putting on your Christmas list this year?
Man, well, I just got the iPhone 12 Pro. That was the big thing. I got it just the other day, so I'm all geeked out. I got the blue one. So I camera technology. My wife hates it, but I love cameras. I have a DSLR. I have a lot of DJI equipment. I'm into drones big time. I'm on my 3rd drone.
No kidding, that's cool.
Yeah, so I like photography. Wow. I'm not the greatest photographer. I'm not going to claim I'm the greatest one, but I just love getting that vantage point from a drone. It's just amazing to get those views. So, I'd tell you 90% of the time what I do with my drone is when I know there's a storm coming in or it's a great sunset, I just throw that thing straight up in my backyard at 300 feet. And I love getting pictures of storms coming in or getting a great sunset, or, you know, flying over storm damage. So it's, that's probably my vice right now as far as the technology. It's definitely been drones and cameras.
How are the cameras on the drones now?
Oh.
I mean, where are those at?
It's amazing, the 4K quality, and you know, I always use filters, ND filters on them to help, you know, make the quality a little bit better. It's amazing how small that camera is and the quality of the video and stills that you get. But to me, what's amazing, I had one of the first DJI drones, and there was a learning curve in flying those things. You had to kind of know what you were doing. Now, I mean, these things fly themselves. They're impossible to crash. I got the latest one, the Mavic 2 Zoom, and I had it follow my kids around the yard, seeing if it would run into a tree or a house. It didn't. It would, all this avoidance technology. It was just crazy that I could go under
what's the brand?
Yeah.
Brad.
What's that?
The brand, like, what's a good one?
DJI is they're the standard holders. They just have the best drones, and they now have the best camera technology. When they first started, they just did the drones and you put GoPros on them. Now that they've built their own cameras, the combination of their camera and gimbals, which is the thing that steadies the camera, is just first class. And then their drones and they're just getting so much smaller now. I mean, I just can't believe how small they are. You know, the size of a cell phone, and you could throw the thing up in like 5 seconds and get an aerial shot. So,
wow.
So
it's
these
amazing.
are much more stable. Like, I bought one for the kids. You could put it had a camera. The thing, they hit it once, it went up, it went into the woods, and they couldn't find it for an hour.
It disappeared.
Yeah, the DJI ones, they will come back home automatically. They're kind of hard to lose.
Really?
Yeah. So like if they lose low battery or they lose signal, they will automatically return to their launch location.
Oh my God. That's
Wow.
Which
So
is
don't
pretty
be
cool.
on a boat on the lake.
Except that's
Moving.
funny you say that, Greg, because I did that. I launched it from a boat by accident one time. Instead of putting it, I should have put it in manual mode, right? And we got out of range, and it tried to go land back in the water where our boat was. And I said, turn around.
Oops.
I had to retrieve my drone from the bottom of the lake at my parents' cabin. So,
yeah.
Was it salvageable? Did you save it?
well, I got it. It's never flown since, but
I think the funniest story I have with the drone, and this is the only time I've ever really almost crashed it. I was launching in my backyard to do like a sunset. I got up about 100 feet, and a red-tailed hawk came out of nowhere and was like, "Caw!" and came down and attacked it and hit the front of it with its talons, and the propeller stopped on the talons and it flew off, and it got out of control. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to crash in someone's house. I finally got control of it, landed it. And it was my first drone. It had 2 big talon marks where it tried to grab the front of the drone. It was crazy. There must have been a nest or something nearby, and it thought it was a threat, so it came out and tried to attack my drone.
well, one of our regular viewers, Garrett Beverly, who's often commenting and listening, and he had a drone in Virginia just a few weeks ago, and a barn owl destroyed it in the middle of the, like, he had lights on it and he was going up and he was lighting things from above, and barn owl took it out, destroyed it.
Yeah, it scared me to death because I'm so nervous I was going to wreck and crash into someone's house, and they're like, whose drone is this? Oh, it's the weather guy's drone. You know, so I was just, I had total fear.
Why is he looking in my window?
I do everything legit. I have FAA registration on there, and so my registration's on there, my phone number. So if someone finds my drone, they're going to know it's mine. So I do everything by the book. So I was really nervous that was going to happen when that got attacked by the bird. So to this day, I'm still like, man, that bird freaks me out. So I always look for birds when I'm taking off now.
Are any of these like, all right, I'll wait.
Yeah, you got to wait on that because that's the sound. It's time for our lightning round. So this is our game show of flashy and brilliant questions that we get to play with our guests. We always invite everybody to go along and play with us, especially our Patreon members on the live chat. But what we're going to do, so Brad, we talked about your love of tech and geeking out over stuff like that. We're going to play a game called You Had One of These. You had one of these. So I'll be honest with you. What we're going to do, I'm actually going back. We're going back in time a little bit. And I picked from every decade starting in the 1950s. So you probably didn't have one of those. Your parents maybe did. But I'm going back in time. And every decade, I'm going to give you a year. And I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about what the machine or gadget was, and your goal is to tell me actually what it is. Okay, what was it that was released that year or was a big thing? And if you don't get it, I'm going to turn it over to the freaks, and they get to try and figure it out.
Yeah, we won't get it.
And we'll give them the points, right?
Yeah, we never get it, so
They never get it. Yeah, it's true. You'd be safe. I will say this though, M, you got MJ on your side, and he's known as Gadget Man, so you never know
All right.
what'll happen. But here we go. So the first one, we're going back to the 1950s, Brad. So jump in your hot tub time machine. 1958, a machine that can translate data, revolutionize communication, and pave the way for the internet. What was that?
Wow. In 1958.
1958
That's gotta be the
translates data.
Yeah, is it a punch card reader of some kind? No.
That is incorrect. Freaks, flipping it over to you. Any ideas?
Computer?
cell phone.
Walkie-talkie?
Satellite
Cell phone.
dish.
How old are you,
Oh
Brady?
my gosh.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Supercomputer.
No, none of that. Wow. It was the modem. The modem. Remember that?
Wow.
Wow, that first modem. That's
1958. All right, here we
Wow.
go. We're jumping to the 60s. 1967, Brad.
Okay.
Texas Instruments released this. It was the first model that could fit in your pocket.
Calculator.
The
Yeah.
handheld calculator. Very good. All right, I'll give you 5 points for that because I just transferred the points from the last one, so I'll give you those. All right, 1979, Brad. This was invented by Notion Oga. This was the first way to privately listen to music on the go in 1979.
Ooh, I know that one.
That was the Walkman. You were correct.
Woo!
Brady, it played a cassette tape
Yeah.
that had tape like put
I
music
think
on the
I had
tape.
the yellow
It was
one
weird.
that was like the sport
So
one.
it wasn't on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
The music
No.
wasn't just magically on
Nope.
your phone. That's
Nope.
weird. Huh.
Not then. All right, Brad, 1989. This unit was released and became one of the best-selling video game systems of all time in 1989.
89. Oh, that's Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
Nintendo what?
Oh,
Oh, he's getting
Oh,
specific.
Nintendo 64.
That is incorrect. Freaks 1989. Yeah, that's
gotta be the
one of the
same.
best-selling video
Go
game
ahead.
systems of all time.
GameCube.
I wanted to say Nintendo
no, the
too.
little handheld.
Atari.
All right, I'm not giving it to you. It was the Nintendo Game Boy.
Game Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Game Boy.
Yeah.
Kind of caught you. All right, we'll just move those points over to this one. 1996, Mr. Panovich, this entered the market as a challenger to both the VHS and Laserdisc. What was this in 1996?
Ooh, that was Beta, right?
Nope.
No.
That
Oh,
is incorrect.
Greg,
DVD.
That was the DVD
Nice.
player. Freaks get the 5 points on
Oh,
that.
I
one.
should've
Wow.
known. Did you know Twister
1996.
was one of the first movies ever released on DVD?
Yep.
Yeah, you
In
should have been here last week.
1996.
Yeah.
And it was the last movie released on high definition DVD.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
That was like the beta of the DVD era. All right, two more. 2001, though not the first of its kind, Brad, this unit released by Apple changed the way we listen to music.
Oh, iPod.
The
Yeah.
iPod. Very good. I'll give you 10 on that one because I'm feeling
10.
generous.
10
And
what?
then last, this is for all the bucks. In
Jujube.
2014, this voice assistant paved the way for many competitors.
Alexa.
Siri.
Siri.
First.
Oh,
Oh,
Cortana.
Think of
Cortana.
another one.
not Cortana.
Not Cortana.
I think you just enjoy pressing that button, Phil.
I know it.
I don't think there's
I know.
actually a right answer.
Stick that
Dude,
button
no,
in your
it was
ear.
the Amazon Echo.
Really?
Oh,
Amazon Echo. Yep.
I didn't even
All right.
know that.
Yep. So, all right. So Brad, I think you still won. You got like 15 points compared to 5 or something like that.
He's awful
So,
arbitrary at those points.
So he's the big winner. Big winner. All right, do us a favor, Brad. Let everybody know how they can add to your already massive total of social media followers.
I make it super easy for people to follow me. I'm at WXBrad, which is Weather Brad. So on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat.
Wow.
I'm on all those. You can find me on all those, and I keep it the same because it's easy to find me. So one handle, WXBrad. That's where you can find me.
That's your secret. See, all right. Yeah. See, we go by Stormfront Freaks. That gets to be a little long, I think, is probably the problem. Yeah, but you're a TikToker. Nice. That's surprising too.
Yeah, it's funny. The TikTok story is kind of interesting. I used to do a lot of school talks before COVID, and I would go to these middle schools, and they wouldn't ask me what channel I was on. They wanted to know what my TikTok was.
Really?
I finally got a TikTok. And I give them shout outs on TikToks. And I got all these middle school kids following me because I give them a shout out on TikTok.
Secret. All right. You got 2 TikTok videos on your account. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell you what, it's time to start putting your holiday list, wish list together with all your favorite weather geek faves. So go to helicity.co. They have a huge selection of weather themed merchandise, including Stormfront Freaks shirts, mugs, face masks, and stickers. Go to helicity.co and click on the brands tab to find all your Stormfront Freaks favorite. We're going to go ahead and take our final break. We've got hashtag Weather Fools, and the dark web has given us another wonderful potty mouth forecast. So that's all coming up next. Stay tuned. Cool.
Right on.
All right,
Brad. Tell you what, can you do us one quick favor? If you can give us a quick little sound bite, just say, I don't know, hi, I'm Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Sure, no problem. All right, here we go. In 3, 2. Hey, everybody, I'm Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here at NBC Charlotte, and I love living. Let's do that again. Take 2. It's a great thing about recording. Take 2. Exactly. In 3, 2. Hey, everybody, I'm Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I love listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Good. That was good. I
was awesome.
Late on that
sound effect.
And you love us.
Wow. I know.
That's
I feel
nice.
honored, privileged, and whatever.
I'm overcome right now.
No, Brad, I appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Great.
Thanks, Brad. Go Box.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes,
Brad.
go Bucks. Big game Saturday night. Can't wait.
By the way, Brad, did any rotation, anything come out of that line of storms?
No, but I'm still kind of keeping an eye on the corner of my eye, and there are still some rotational couplets in there. It's so shallow though. It's one of those things. Like, when you watch this and you're like, if these things can get any lightning strikes or get up to around 25,000 feet, I'd be really nervous. So so far so good, but this is the kind of lines this is what we get in the Carolinas. These QLCS. Low top, high shear, low cape events. I hate them because they're so hard to warn for, and we get them all the time.
Wow. That's the joy of being a storm chaser in Ohio, too, by the way.
Yeah. So you weren't social distancing from radar tonight?
No, I got it on both sides of me here.
Okay. All right, good. I was concerned, like, who's watching radar?
Dan, you got any more questions before Brad takes off? No.
You're on mute again.
We could tell you said no.
Cool. So Brad, we're gonna edit this, and then upload it probably on Sunday.
Okay.
I'll probably post something on Twitter and Facebook, whatever, tag you on it so you can see it. Yeah. So at least you know it's up when it's up. Okay?
Absolutely. That'd be perfect.
Cool. Thanks again, man. Appreciate you.
No problem. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Brad.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Hey, Phil, I got a question. You've got me on the potty mouth thing, because you do that one, right? I mean, you.
I did.
You're
it,
the one who finds one.
No, didn't you make one? You were supposed to. Didn't you get that memo?
Yeah. No, I did.
I did. I was talking to Dina.
Yeah, Dina.
Must have been off this week.
Yeah, come on.
So as we walk through this our next segments here, I'll fill you in on what I got, and you can just introduce what it is. And I'm just trying to continue to find ways that I don't have to be the one talking all the time. And
okay.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
Just FY. Can you check your audio? Sorry, what?
Somebody's echoing.
Is that me?
Is that me?
Amazon Echo.
Check 1, 2.
Brady's not
Hello?
drinking,
Anybody?
really.
Well, anyway, Phil, go to your settings and turn off echo cancellation because that's messing the music up. That used to be the audio processing, but they changed it. Now they call it echo cancellation.
Oh, shoot.
That's Brady.
Brady,
He's drunk.
okay?
He dropped his vodka.
Is he okay? Oh, there. Okay. Anyway, so that
echo cancellation is what I have to click off from now on. Okay.
Yes.
Stereo audio. Should I be clicking on that? Probably.
Only if we're playing a lot of stereo music. So no.
Did you guys see the revolutionary thing that I did right there?
We heard it.
You added liquor to your pre-mixed drink?
Yes. And I'm
Did
telling
it.
you,
I don't even believe
this is
it.
the way to take a Truly's, or you can do this with a White Claw. You add vodka to it, and it takes it from good to, oh yeah. I mean, you can't get any better than
Who's
that.
going to be taking off the cat shirts? soon?
Somebody needs to play Brady at half speed on that one because I bet it sounds good.
Brady, are you getting White Claw wasted over there?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. This is like my last. This might be an
interesting interview after the show.
Oh, it will be.
So Brady, is this a full marathon that you're doing?
No, half. So this is a.
Don't be a wimp, Brady. Do the whole thing.
Hold on. I lost fantasy football, and so I lost fantasy football last year. So this is my punishment. So I had to run a full marathon or a half marathon. But they're making me eat Chipotle before.
Oh,
so
boy.
That's my punishment.
Oh, yuck.
So so it's going to be worse. It's going to be bad.
Wear a diaper.
And before this, I've never ran over 3 miles. Like I'd sprint, but I don't run long distance. So it's going to be
So let's just throw you into a half marathon.
Yeah, I mean I've been training to get up there, but furthest I've gotten was 8 miles. So, and that was without Chipotle.
Oh,
man! Who's making you eat Chipotle?
It's only 5 more.
What happens when you lose in our fantasy football league? So
MJ, ask Jacob what does his hat say?
Oh, I got to have Phil here for that, but go ahead. Wait, Phil's coming back. Hang on. Then ask that question as soon as he gets his headphones on.
Okay.
Okay, go.
What's your hat say?
It says University of Minnesota Duluth.
Bulldogs.
Nice.
Yeah, baby.
There you go.
Woo!
My cousin went there. Yeah.
Is that where you're going?
I'm also wearing my Saint Scholastica T-shirt.
So he's kind of
see.
he's kind of got Duluth in mind, but not sure which.
What do you want to do,
which
Jacob?
school yet.
I'm thinking about going into occupational therapy, maybe, but
I heard UMD's got one of the best programs in the world. That's what I heard.
What's UMD?
University of Minnesota
Duluth.
Oh, UMD.
You can visit Greg. You'll be really close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
All right. So here's what we do. We'll come back to Brady. So we'll play a little bit of that on the intro.
Much better.
And okay. And then you can introduce what hashtag WeatherFools is.
I got one, by the way.
I do.
Good job.
I've got 2 because everybody failed me last time.
Hey,
I never feel you on weather pools ever.
You haven't. That's true. But you weren't on last episode, and that's why you kind of.
Which was
Brady made one. Brady brought one in from 1987.
Right.
Wait.
I think
that was a good one.
Dina's used that one before too, by the way.
Okay, we're over 100 episodes. Like, there's going to be people that reuse.
Yeah.
If it's good, it's worth watching.
It happened over 2 years ago. I don't remember that. I don't even remember what happened.
Dina, remember the hurricane forecast cone?
Oh yeah.
The guy doing that from
John.
his midsection.
Yeah.
See, that's funny.
Tropical storm John.
Yeah.
And Phil ruined it because he's like, "That's fake.
It is fake, dude."
Real.
You tell me when Tropical Storm John was
I didn't even think about that.
threatening the coast.
Well, no, and the cone was going out to the Pacific.
Right.
It wasn't-
Right.
Oh, that's right. It was coming off like the Yucatan Peninsula or something. Yeah, John.
I always like the ones where they show the Omega block the thing, and then they go, yeah, the Omega block. That's always the funny one.
my God, that's good.
It's me every time.
That's great.
All right, so Greg, Dina, and Phil with Weather Fools, and then
I
it's
have one.
episode 117 show notes.
Phil, share your screen too. Just
Thank you.
Which reminds me, where's Kim?
She
Share
wasn't
the
g-
screen. Is she okay?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, she was
Nobody's
gonna
got
be
COVID?
on. She was gonna be on last episode. And what was it?
COVID. She had
COVID.
someone. Well, she didn't get. It was someone or like one of her
exposed, I think.
son's friends tested positive in class. So like they had like some crazy thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, she's good. Okay, and then after Brady's done, then Dina.
Are we doing Trollbot or Potty Mouth?
body mouth.
Dang, we got the license for
Because
this
what's
song?
this song?
No.
ACDC.
That's the group. What's the song?
ACDC.
Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
There we go. Highway to Hell for
I got a
Potty
point.
Mouth Forecast, right? All right, so Dina, so Potty Mouth Forecast.
So we're doing that right after Weather Fools.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
And so you're talking about Potty Mouth Forecasts. We're digging into the dark web to find our weather friends on air saying things that maybe they shouldn't be saying that have found their way to the dark web, and now we found a way to bring it back to you. But this one is going to be from Stephanie Abrams.
Oh.
And so you can preface that
Getting all
by
this.
saying this is coming from Stephanie Abrams, who is going to be kicking off our 6th season as a guest in January.
Got that?
Yeah.
'cause I
But
don't.
am I tossing it to you at all, or? You're
You
just
can
gonna
if you
play it.
want, and then I'll play it. Hold on. Do I have it?
Hope so.
Hmm.
Or be a short segment.
Potty Mouth. Here it is.
Stephanie, we're going to begin with you, and we can see
Yep.
that
Hold on. I just got.
I hear Kelly.
Is that who that was?
Kelly
Sorry,
Cass.
Oh, I bet that
There's like a voice in my head. Let's go.
See, I still got the song in my head.
Good song to have in your head.
Now that's in my head. Thanks, Phil.
You're welcome. All right, so then you can just say, Phil, you can say I got this from Stephanie Abrams, and then when you stop, I'll just go ahead and play it.
Okay.
And then as soon as we're done with that, we'll go to.
Send me a postcard. Drop me a.
Oh, do we have any before we go to that?
Yes, I do have one.
Okay.
Okay.
It's been. I'll say this. You know what? I had to dig for my Weather Fools. I had to dig way back. I've got all these. Everyone's sending me Weather Trollbot shit now.
Okay.
But the Weather Fools that I used to always get, no one's sending that to me. Like
Everyone's staying
No
at
one-
home.
we have the thing is we have taught everybody to behave and do smart things in the
That's
weather.
it. Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
fine.
Yeah,
Catch
right.
it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good weather
100%.
ambassadors.
Weather ambassador.
Right.
Weather.
Wow.
That's what it is. But all right, we'll go to MJ and then we'll close it up after that, right? Everybody good?
Yep.
All right, Brady,
Jesus.
we're bringing you in 3, 2.
Back to the Storm Front Freaks podcast. Pour yourself another drink because we have the best part of the show coming up. It's Weather Fools. What is Weather Fools for our first-time listeners? Well, us as the freaks, we're going out on the internet, the dark web, as Phil calls it, wherever we're looking for a video, a tweet, or just a picture of someone that just did something downright stupid, and it deals with the weather. So, Phil, I understand you have a Weather Fool this week. Who is your Weather Fool?
I've got a couple. So first off, both of them are on Twitter. We're going to WX Chasing Brandon Clement. This one was sent to us a while ago, but this was when Baton Rouge was going through some massive flooding issues. But here's some hatchback
What the heck?
that for some reason thought they'd give it a go
I'll keep going.
under the bridge.
He's got it. Hold on. He's got it. He's got
no.
it. Wait. Oh.
When you go into us,
And of course the tweet says, "Will it float?" ? And the answer is yes, it floats.
Wow, it is floating.
Here's the funny thing you're going to see shortly while it's floating in the underpass is someone shows up in the screen.
Oh, there they
wades out to help him out. And then what's funny is he's actually going to grab the car and start pulling it back to shore.
It back. There you go. Just like your boat.
Wow.
I wonder how much water is that in the car.
So I don't know why you would do that.
Why would anybody do that?
Maybe he's always wanted a boat his whole life.
Oh, don't open the door.
Now he's got water in it.
Yeah, there wasn't water there then. There is now. So,
jeez, wow. Well, good thing you got out safe. Yeah, that's we're nearing the end of watching the clips of people driving into the water because we're nearing winter. Hopefully,
that's true.
I'll I won't jinx myself here, but Phil, I understand you have another one.
I do have one more. This again is from Oklahoma Highway Patrol, and this was a while back as well. But this happened in Greer County, and they have pictures of the flooding and everything that happened to be going on at the time. But unfortunately, there was also a school bus that went where it shouldn't have gone. And
look at the water up the door.
Caught in the water up the door. And then there was 2 students still on the bus.
There they
are.
You
can see the waters going down the aisle of the bus, and the students
bus
are in the
driver
back.
Somebody's for employment.
Yeah, somebody's out of a job.
Looking for a job.
Yeah, not smart. Not a good school bus driver.
Wow, hate to see that. You really do, Phil. Those were pretty good. Remember, turn around, don't drown people. Just, I mean, how many times have we shown you guys videos of people driving to the water and then stalling? We never show you videos of them not stalling because it just doesn't happen. So don't drive into standing water, people. All right, I understand. Greg, you got a weather full this week.
Yeah, and you had mentioned the fact that hurricane season's wrapping up and now we're moving into winter. Well, we had some nasty weather up here last week, and this video showed up on TikTok. Now, listen, I got to tell you, it's going to be in the show notes. And when it's in the show notes, hopefully you'll be able to listen to this without your kids around. It's really funny, but not appropriate at all, but hilarious. But what I love about this is the first snowfall every year. You get a little bit of ice on the road, and as you can see, this guy sets up on a corner, and he's just waiting for somebody. Oh, here comes the bus.
The bus.
The bus is doing. He's doing a little drifting. this guy's going way too fast.
Too fast. Yep, into a tree.
Into a stop sign.
This guy's going pretty good here too. Boom! Hits the curb.
Wow.
Jeez.
But it's like we forget, right? Like we forget. Right. It's only a few months ago that the winter ended, but we forget in that first snowfall every year. So I'm sure there'll be lots of these kinds of videos floating around.
I love those people that can't know where the slick spots always are, and they just camp out, right?
Yeah,
and watch them do it. Or Dina brought up once, I think, someone that knew where there was a big pothole in a flood, and every time people would walk over it, they would drop, like just sink into the pothole.
Which reminds me, I've got a good weather fool with some
without warning people. Without warning people, they just videotape it, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, Greg, that was pretty great. So I understand, Dina, you got one too. Who's your weather fool this week?
Yeah, and this one, I think there's like especially one for sure in here that's not real, but some of these are so funny. It's called People versus Puddles. And some of these wipeouts, there's a lot of pothole. Like there's the pothole. This is funny real. Too. She goes in. Like I don't know how you don't know this pothole.
Yeah.
But I mean, I laughed at this. I watched it like 4 times. There's one in here that's totally fake, but I
only
just
one.
Get a kick out of it.
That one might have been real.
Well, yeah, if they're like this one, that one's fake.
Yeah.
That's just a puddle. I don't know what he's doing. But some of these, it reminds me of like the roads in Cleveland where I grew up. There's so many this is a good one. He's riding down on his bike. Boom.
Flips it over.
Take a moment, look at this because it's funny. There's another ice one.
Lots of fools.
And you always got the redneck one that falls into the mud. What can you do?
I love it.
No offense to our redneck fans out there, but yeah.
That's right, yeah.
I'm going to make fun of it. That's all I could say.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Well, I think I'll wrap us up here with the weather fools for this week. So this isn't necessarily someone doing something stupid. This is just like, why are you filming this and why are you even here? So this is Hurricane Zeta. They're on an oil rig in the middle of the Gulf.
Oh!
And there's waves that are like 20 to 30 feet. It looks like the day after tomorrow.
Holy
Oh my
cow.
God.
It's insane. I'm just like, why would you even be on that oil rig when a hurricane is barreling down? It's
Oh my God.
shocking.
I saw
I know,
that. I
like,
thought
didn't
they
they
said
evacuate?
50. I thought
Maybe
they
it was
said
50.
50
Maybe
waves,
it's 50.
Those are
And-
huge.
And look, you
oil
can
rig.
even see a wave splashing up water onto the rig. So it's like it's clear that water is coming on. I mean, that's just that's crazy.
That looks like something out of that movie, The Perfect Storm. That's how big those
Yeah.
waves look.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, yeah,
Where's
it's
the Andrew
shocking.
Gale trying to go up the
It's
side
shocking.
of the.
So yeah, so I
Oh my
wouldn't be
God.
there. He's probably got a great reason to be there, but I don't know if I would be there watching
was
that.
drunk.
But maybe. But all right, well that about does it for our Weather Fools this week. If you want to see more information or links to the videos that we showed here on the podcast, check out episode 117 in the show notes section on your favorite podcast app.
This is the part of the show now. It's fairly relatively new. Potty mouth forecasts. Although I can just listen to some good AC/DC.
I know, that's good.
But the potty mouth forecast is where we kind of dig into what Phil likes to call the dark web, and we find somebody who is just tired of everybody's bullshit, and they just let loose. And this week we have a potty mouth forecast from our favorite Stephanie Abrams, who's actually going to kick off our 6th season in January on our podcast. So, and I love Stephanie. We work together. She is funny and upbeat, and she's a great meteorologist. But Phil, you've got that clip, don't you?
I do. So we found this. She was doing some live feed from a hurricane. I'm not sure which hurricane this was, but it was a live feed from a hurricane. And you can imagine the words that sometimes can be accidentally sputtered out when you're doing a live feed in an extremely windy situation. So here's what I found. Take a listen.
Stephanie, we're going to begin with you, and we can see that you are really being battered right now.
We are, Kelly, and you were talking about wind gusts. I heard you down a little south of me of 124 miles an hour. There was a crew. I haven't had a chance to head down to the beach just yet, but a crew went down there. They got a wind gust of 78.6, and I wouldn't doubt that because we are really having a hard time standing. The roof of the condominium we're staying at continues to get blown off. We're seeing debris flying everywhere. Thankfully, my crew is looking out for me while I'm doing these live shots and trying to get the debris as it heads in our direction. We have seen windows blown out. Power lines are down. Woo! And screen doors. Watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out! That's part of the roof that is headed towards us. I'm not sure if you guys can still hear me, but I had to get out of the shot so that we didn't get hit. So things are just getting really bad here. I'm going to stay out of the shot so that we don't get hit. Watch out, Jim. As the roof continues to fly off this condominium here, comes again. Woo! We're going to try to move that out of the way so we can get back into the shot here.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
that was gold.
I want to hear her go, and I got an F and P. It's so hot. It's so different for the women out there than the men. I'm just gonna say.
Oh man,
I'm sure it is.
Send me a
All right.
postcard, drop me a line.
You've got mail, baby. Yeah.
Time to check our mail.
All right. Well, Joey Mays joined us at the Blizzard level on Patreon.
Oh.
And so thanks, Joey, for that. And he wrote us to say, I love Patreon, especially for the things I enjoy. And I always watch the show, so I'm excited to keep up close to the live recording. Hopefully I can find time to tune in live now.
You know, the reason why he loves the show so much is because he was on it. He and his wife, Joe, Joe and Kelly were on the show last time.
Oh.
They do that minute by minute twister.
Yep.
Yeah, minute by minute was cool. So,
but yeah, thanks, Joy, and of course, thanks for joining us on the show. You can provide comments and or questions by email at questions@stormfrontfreaks.com or look us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on all of those. So that's our fan thing.
or you can provide just noises like Brady. Yeah,
that was funny.
Are we on TikTok? What do you guys?
Not yet. No.
We should
get
be
on TikTok. We're a pretty viral group, right?
Well, that I think that just about does it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. Thanks for listening or watching. Before I go ahead and announce our next guest, which you don't want to miss, if you like the show, don't forget to subscribe or to follow the show so you get notified and receive the latest episodes delivered right to your podcast player the moment it gets released. Also, visit patreon.com/StormfrontFreaks to check out all the ways you can support us, and we can do more with you, like live access to view our raw recordings and chat with us, monthly virtual happy hours with our freaks, and you can even join us and our guests in the green room of our show recordings. So just go ahead and visit patreon.com/StormfrontFreaks. And again, thank you for supporting us. I do want to give a shout out again to our special guest tonight, Brad Panovich. It's good to finally have Brad on. Been working on that for a while. And then, so here we go. Our next episode, we have another first to the show when severe storm specialist Dr. Greg Forbes joins us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for our Patreon members, we'll be recording. Did you go?
Forbes on.
So for our Patreon members, we'll be recording that episode live on Thursday, November 12th at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, with exclusive access to the video 2 weeks following the show. For everybody else, the episode 118 audio podcast will be edited and up on the 15th. So for MJ, for Maz, Brady, Greg, and Dina, I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear, and we will catch you guys next time.
See you later. Brady, what are you doing?
Just trying to make a sound. I don't know.
You made a sound.
He's drunk.
I'm trying to patent my new sound. I don't want it to be the it's awful. I want it to be something else.
All right, so hey, I'm gonna quick record our pre-opening for just a second here. All right.
Good luck.
Come
So
in.
shut the
Three,
eye, right?
Don't laugh.
2. On episode 117, we finally get to chat with Chief Meteorologist Extraordinaire Brad Panovich from Charlotte, North Carolina. The Dark Web presents another potty mouth forecast, this time from Stephanie Abrams. We've got a new Titan U Minute, hashtag Weather Fools, and much, much more. All right.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
You really do have a silky, smooth voice.
I love you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Kind of enjoying it.
let's get down tonight.
Yeah. We should bring the tone of the conversation down.
What is going on? I just like
They're
lagged
trying
out
to
for a
turn him into
second.
Barry White.
Who's Barry White? I mean,
Who's
Barry
Barry
Melly.
White?
Barry Melly.
Oh.
Here, I'm gonna play this for you guys because this. So part of the thing I've been doing to try and help promote the live show is I've been trying to post some of the videos of some of our like things that we've cut, and edited out, like this one. All right, the next one I got comes from Japan. I believe this is Japan. Yep, Tokyo.
What does that translate to, Phil? Quick.
Where's my translate button?
Wrong for cover.
You don't know
Not
Japanese?
But here we go.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Dita's like, jeez.
Sorry, man.
Marking that one down.
Marking that one down.
Please do that. Jeez.
Him laughing is funnier than anything.
I don't understand what happened. I really
I know
don't.
Brady's like, what's going on?
I didn't hear it at the time, but that was
Okay.
cool.
That was hilarious.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh, Lordy.
Type what happened in
Everybody's
the
just
private
lost
chat.
their
I don't
mind.
know.
All right, here we go. How did you miss that, Brady? I don't know how you missed that.
I can't tell what's happening then and what's happening now.
Oh, it's like it's all over again.
Confusing.
All right.
Oh gosh, that was funny.
Okay. That just goes on.
Looks like it's a tornado. Looks like it's a big tornado.
All right.
The skeleton
All right.
one is
See,
still the
unfortunately, I look at the
Oh, Jesus.
the script, the language script, and then I laugh again. Anyway, so that was one of them.
Yeah, Skeletons was still pretty good.
Skeletons was good. I think there was another one I was playing here too. Here it was.
All right, so who's got weather resources? Oh no!
No. Again, that's become pretty common now, unfortunately.
Wow.
Who's got hashtag weather? Oh, nobody.
No.
Is there another?
Wow.
Dan says he's got some he can contribute to us. So thanks for
I
pitching in.
love that one where you slowed down that was the funniest thing I've ever heard. I think
it's great.
Seriously, I think do I still have that one? Here we go.
Taking a look at the radar. So we did
Janice
have a
Dean.
little bit of a system across the Northeast, still a little bit of rain in Florida. But out west, we have had unprecedented, wildfires and now the potential for flooding and mudslides and debris flows. It was a tragic day in Southern California yesterday because of the rain.
How to turn a tragedy and make it funny.
Eastward, but it's giving us some energy for a storm system across the upper
when she
Midwest
finishes. It's hilarious.
and the northern plains. And look out, we might have a storm system here across the northeast on
that?
the
I forget.
weekend.
Janice
So
Dean.
we
Janice
will
Dean.
keep you up to date. That's a stay tuned, folks.
That's a stay tuned, folks.
Gosh.
That's funny stuff.
Those are good.
Right on.
Kim screen share. Sorry, I'll play it.
Hey Kim, is there a character in one of the books that's still trying to figure out screen sharing?
Wow, where are you now, Kim?
This was like near Halloween.
Google?
Yeah, it's around Halloween.
She can't get out of screen. She's like in screen share hell, and she can't get out. That's hilarious.
I'm not falling into this.
That went on forever too.
It just kept popping back up.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. The video is just.
You gotta watch the video on this one. Yeah.
You look a little thin.
That's good too.
I can't figure this out.
MJ, is it doing the thing where like you have multiple screens showing? Is that what's happening?
Her background image keeps popping up, and it's a skeleton. From
it's like she shared. So she shared her browser,
desktop,
but she had multiple tabs, and she was clicking on different tabs.
Yeah,
and one of her tabs was just a Google skeletons, and it kept popping that up. And we'd laugh, and so the camera, the screen would switch to us, and then all of a sudden Kim would talk, and the screen would switch to her, and it's the skeletons again. It's like, whoa, where are you?
That was so much fun.
You're looking a little.
Oh my god!
That was the original big crack.
That was the original one.
Yeah, it looks like there is a tornado warning behind you. Is that where Brad is? I can't tell.
You're right. That is. Wow.
Is that Carolina, Dan?
They issued one.
No, that's
That's
live.
live.
Yeah, that is North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah,
is
that's
that a tornado warning there?
Yeah. Well, Brad's on the air.
That's awesome.
Well, you hope he is.
Oh yeah.
Well, he wasn't drinking.
Yeah,
that's
really.
That's true.
There's hope.
A little bit.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
See the little indentation there, the little inflow. Yeah.
Oh, is that what that is?
Debris ball. Wedge.
It's a curly.
Wedge.
Hey, I think Forbesy is the one that really coined that debris ball.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a Forbes ball.
Like he's the one I think who really first started saying that.
Got a question for him next week there, or 2 weeks.
Yeah, that'll be good.
He's got lots that he coined though.
But I remember when he started doing that, we're like debris ball. Oh yeah, I'm just looking at the radar now. But it's northeast of Brad. Yeah. It's up near Greensboro. It was hard to see on that little map.
Do you have a
behind Dan.
velocity scan on it, Dina? Like,
I'm
can you
looking
see-
at like radar scope.
Oh yeah.
Well, ladies and gents, I need to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the
It's been a
same.
Great night.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep a low profile because I've been on vacation this week and I haven't wanted anybody to call me. Although I got like 3 texts from my boss this morning at 6 a.m. Are you awake? Do you have power?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, quick poll on show titles. I don't know if Phil wrote any down. I wrote a couple. One is "You Don't Need Pants," and the other is "Why is he looking in my window?"
You don't need pants. Pants.
I like the pants.
Okay.
Right on.
Because I think a lot of people can relate to that too. Right
What's
now.
with your glasses?
Oh,
Dina, your glasses were
reflecting off her.
I'm not wearing pants right now.
Wait, right?
funky.
Thanks, Brady.
Thanks, Brady.
I'm wearing shorts.
I'll end the